Welcome back to The Last Call. I'm your host, Justin Holbrock. Get ready for a week of nonstop action with teams you've never watched this season until now. But two teams we've been watching all year are Auburn and Alabama, and both are going dancing. So the biggest question is, can you do an Ed Orgeron impression yet? What was it like to hear him talking? Can you do the impression? Because I've been working on mine. I think I've got a pretty good one. I want to hear if you have one.
It's kind of hard to do it. I don't think anybody can do it except for him, to be honest. I mean, hey, you want to give it a try?
Yeah, it's good to have you here in the program, Peter.
Yeah, that's probably the best one.
Looking forward to hold that tiger.
That's exactly how it sounds. I'm not even going to lie.
This is the route that Devontae Smith took on his first and only catch of the game. It just so happened to be the game-winning touchdown in overtime as the Alabama Crimson Tide topped the Georgia Bulldogs 26-23, giving the Tide their 5th national championship under head coach Nick Saban. Confetti rains once again on the Kings of the SEC as Alabama wins its 4th SEC title in 5 years. What was Georgia's revenge after last year's national championship turned into Jalen's. He came back and led the team to a game-tying touchdown and then the game-winning touchdown to give the Tide another SEC title under Nick Saban. The man of the hour is Mr. Wayne Trawick. Coach, you were the only coach to lead a team to a state championship here at Central. What was so special about that team? As you approach exit 79, leaving Georgia, heading into Alabama, there are two options, a right toward Lynette and a left toward Valley. But on Friday, two players, one from each city, found somewhere to meet in the middle.
I saw how upset he was, and I just knew that I needed to go up to him and give him a hug and say he's still the best player around here.
For him to come in and try to keep me up and to let me know to keep my head up, that did a lot for me.
Daniels Valley Rams had just shocked Christian's Lynette Panthers, who won a state title last year. The schools are bitter rivals, but the two players have been friends since kindergarten.
It was the first day of school, and our parents knew each other, so our relationship has just grown since kindergarten.
But don't let the hug fool you.
A lot of competition also, like from wrestling in the pool to
kickball back in kindergarten. We've always tried to keep more home runs than each other.
All-star baseball, having a competition throughout the week, practicing to see who can hit the most home runs.
And now we're just fighting each other in high school football.
It's always been a competition between us.
3 years ago, Christian's dad Clifford took the head coaching job at Lynette, putting a bridge between their friendship.
We talk all the time still. You know, it's not that hard for me, but you'd think it would be because we're rivals and all that kind of stuff. But no matter where you go or anything, you still have friends. No matter what you're doing, rivals, it don't matter.
With a true best friend, like you don't have to talk to him every day for him to know you're still there. So I think he's more than a best friend to me. He's been like my brother since we was young. So it's God and family before anything else. So, and he's like family to me. So it comes before football.
The bond that they have, it'll be lifetime. You know, when they get their families and get married and they have children, they'll still come and visit each other and see each other. And to be honest with you, after that game was over, when I saw that, you know, my mind went immediately to this is what it's all about.
Legendary NFL coach Vince Lombardi once asked, if winning isn't everything, then why do they keep score? Well, Coach, these two friends might just be the answer. Reporting on your side, Justin Holbrock, News 3 Sports. The Atlanta Braves playoff run came to an end this week when they lost in 4 games to the Dodgers. What stands out to you in that sentence? For me, it's the Braves and the playoffs in the same breath. This was supposed to be a team that would finish in the bottom third in all of baseball and be one of the worst teams in the NL East. Instead, they won 90 games and clinched the division for the first time in 5 years. This young team, 6th youngest in all of baseball, was headlined by 20-year-old Ronald Acuna Jr. and 21-year-old Ozzie Albies. Both made the All-Star game, and so did first baseman Freddie Freeman, the leading vote-getter, as well as veteran Nick Markakis. Aside from youth, the other unknown was Atlanta's pitching staff. Well, the unit ended up with the 2nd lowest opponent batting average and 7th lowest earned run average. Sure, you'd like for them to still be in, but this year, being in far exceeded expectations. And by the time next season comes around, they'll be capable of chopping just about anybody. The search for a hat sponsor this year has been, well, interesting for Jason Duffner. This season, the Auburn grad has worn everything from a notorious B.I.G. hat to one that simply said, Boss. which he actually found sitting at Ricky Fowler's house. Well, today at the U.S. Open, he played like a boss.
Eufaula's up by 2 points right now with about a minute to go till halftime. These two teams have actually met before this season 2 months ago. These teams played right here in Birmingham in the Steel City Classic, but Eufaula is hoping this game goes better than that one. In that game, they lost to the Dragons by 28 points and only scored 34.
To help them get through that grueling schedule, the Tigers are going to rely on junior pitcher Casey Mize. Mize is listed as a preseason All-American by Collegiate Baseball and the 5th best major league prospect by D1Baseball.com. The last time the Auburn Tigers had a pitcher taken in the top 100 was back in 2004.
The confetti is still on the court after the Auburn Tigers won their first SEC title since 1999 after taking down South Carolina 79-70 here at the Auburn Arena.
In Warm Springs, Georgia, you'll find the town's most known site, Roosevelt's Little White House. It was the personal retreat of our 32nd president, Franklin Delano Roosevelt. Just down the road, you'll find another retreat for a group of athletes called the West Georgia Wolverines.
Off the sideline.
1, 2, 3.
Wolverines! And into the game. That's the team motto for the West Georgia Wolverines.
You just get used to the chair. It's almost like it's not there, like you're just using your legs.
Some wheelchair athletes can walk, but they all have a physical disability preventing them from playing a stand-up sport. The one player on the Wolverines confined to a wheelchair is also the team's leader.
I try and look for people that are struggling, people that look like they're having a hard time with their disability, or people that have just newly found their disability.
Logan was once one of those kids dealing with his disability after a car accident left him without the use of his legs.
That was perfect pass. I was 5 when I was put in the wheelchair, so I didn't really have too much to do around anymore until Coach Mack came and found me.
I learned how to serve. In fact, I'm one of the ones who forgot how to say no.
Coach Richard McIntyre, or Coach Mack as the players call him, took over the team back in 2001. His original plan was just to coach for a few months until the team could find a replacement coach. Well, 17 years later, he's still the head coach of the Wolverines and still loves every minute of coaching this team.
After that season, I was hooked. Pick them up down here, but stay with your man.
Coach Mack served in the Vietnam War and started teaching physical education in Meriwether County in 1972, where he stayed until retiring 35 years later.
One of the biggest things is to get kids who qualify to get in a chair. They're afraid of being ostracized for being in a chair.
What would you be missing out on if this wasn't here?
Sports in general. I've made a lot of great friendships playing for this team.
It all starts with taking that first spin on the court.
I think all of us have helped each other grow. And we've had kids that were bullied, kind of depressed over their disabilities and stuff. And I mean, by the time they end up leaving here, it's all gone.
I mean, that's so great to see somebody succeed who didn't think they could.